Good evening. Welcome to the Wednesday, March 13th Board of Trustee meeting of Joliet Junior College. I'd like to call to order. Karen, can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Broderick?
Present.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
Present.
Trustee Harris?
Present.
Trustee Lee?
Here.
Trustee Mahalik?
Here.
Trustee Morales?
Here.
Trustee Ellis?
Here.
Trustee Bazinski?
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome everyone to the meeting tonight. We are going to stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Numo, can you lead us in the pledge, please?
Thank you, Chairman. Absolutely. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Item 1.1, Communications. Ms. Kelly Roder-Tonelli.
Good evening, everyone. The last couple months I've come to you and I just get the fabulous job of getting to highlight all the wonderful partnerships that we have at the college, and there's so many. We could go for years. But one of the things that we haven't focused on recently is the partnerships that we have with our local business and industry, and that's what I'd like to bring with you or to you tonight. So here at JJC, we know that partnerships between community colleges and businesses, large, small, and in between, play a crucial role in building employment opportunities and meeting the workforce needs of diverse industries that we have here. So tonight we've invited Jeff Bulanda. He's the senior manager at Amazon Career Choice to talk about a program that we have implemented here at JJC, wherein Amazon employees can seamlessly take classes, earn stackable credentials and degrees in a variety of programs. And hear this, and Jeff is going to talk a little bit more about it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in the occupation that they're in at Amazon. So Amazon supports them to come to JJC, take programs in high demand fields and get their education. So with that, I introduce you to, there he is, Jeff Bulanda, Senior Manager at Amazon Career Choice.
Hi, everyone. I am honored to be here. I was so excited when Kelly invited me, as Joliet Junior College is one of our premier partners with Amazon Career Choice. And as context, we have 440 colleges and universities that are part of the network. So what is Career Choice? Career Choice is Amazon's tuition assistance benefit for our hourly employees. So it's a global program available to 700,000 plus hourly workers across 14 countries. And we prepay tuition for our employees with the goal that they complete and advance their career, whether inside Amazon or outside of Amazon. And so JJC has been a partner for a number of years. And in 2022, we saw significant growth in Career Choice participants at JJC as we opened up JJC's entire credit-bearing catalog for our employees. And so we have over 300 employees that have taken advantage of Career Choice at JJC over the past 3 years. And the what I'd say is, Dr. Farmer has been an excellent executive sponsor of the program, has committed resources, including building out a care team specifically for Amazon associates using the benefit. And so what I always strive for when I'm working with our partner schools is that Amazon associates are persisting, completing, and advancing their career or furthering their education at higher rates than the general student population, between Amazon prepaying tuition and offering flexible schedules, and then, of course, all of the support and care that our educational partners provide. And so we are beginning to see those, that success metric in terms of persistence and ultimately advancement. So let me pause there and see if there are any specific questions about the partnership.
Any questions?
No.
Thank you. Jeff, can you tell me how many employees this impacts right now?
So we've had over 300 attend. I'm pulling up some data right now, but we've had over 300 participate since 2022, and about 150 of those were in 2023. I don't have the 2024 first-time student numbers yet.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Item 1.2, proclamations. 1.2.1, Board of Trustee approval of April as Earth Month proclamation. Dr. Amy Gray.
Thank you, Chair Bazinski, Board of Trustees, and JJC community. It is my pleasure to introduce Ash Klinder. Ash is currently in her third year here at JJC. She is a biology major with an interest in natural science. Ash is a sustainability campus intern, an active member of Active Minds, and the Word Eater. Ash also loves walking the natural trails and soaking up the beauty, which is why she is the perfect person to read this proclamation.
Thank you. So our proclamation for Earth Month. Whereas Earth Month is celebrated at Joliet Junior College through the entire month of April, as is prudent since Earth gives us all of our resources and is the only known planet that can sustain human life. And whereas beginning on April 22nd, 1970, Earth Day paves an avenue for sustainable growth and a connection to a global consciousness, fostering resilient communities and technological innovation. Now more than ever, these environmental, economic, and social equity issues are integrated into different curriculums, career paths, businesses, government, and lifestyle choices. And whereas Friday, April 26th is National Arbor Day, an annual observance that celebrates the role of trees in our lives and promotes tree planting and care. This was first observed as a formal holiday in 1972 in Nebraska, but tree planting festivals are as old as civilization. And whereas Joliet Junior College recognizes the importance of maintaining the planet's ecological balance and responsible usage of resources through its board policy, sustainability, adopted March of 2012, and through the adoption of sustainability as one of the 7 core values of the institution. And whereas the Joliet Junior College Office of Sustainability is committed in their mission to educate students, faculty, staff, and administration on the importance of sustainability through our individual and community contributions. During Earth Month, we acknowledge that the personal responsibility we share to think globally and act locally as environmental stewards of the planet. This has never been more timely or important as it is now. And whereas JJC sustainability initiatives will extend beyond the college to Joliet's community and enable us to educate and inform the public as to what we can accomplish together through volunteer work, such as Recycle-Palooza, participation in community education events such as the Frankfurt Library Earth Awareness Fair, and providing community services such as the Romeoville Repair Cafe. Now therefore be resolved that the Joliet Junior College Board of Trustees proclaim the month of April 2024 as Earth Month in Illinois Community College District number 525.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. And would you like me to just move on then? One of my next favorite things, community college. So this is our proclamation for Community College Month. Whereas more than 1,200 community, technical, and junior colleges, public and private, in the United States have contributed enormously to the riches and availability of American higher education. And whereas the public and private community, junior, and technical colleges provide a broad array of educational services, which include transfer education, 2-year associate degree programs, certificate programs for employment, basic skills education, continuing and community education. And whereas community colleges work in partnership with business, industry, and government to provide job training assistance and economic development. And whereas community colleges provide necessary resources for community service, including career development, job search assistance, counseling, and developmental education. And whereas through these services, community colleges meet diverse and changing local needs and fulfill a vital function within the state's higher education system. And whereas community colleges provide an opportunity to obtain post-secondary education at a reasonable cost within commuting distance of their students' homes. And whereas Joliet Junior College is one of the 39 community college districts in Illinois, providing occupational, pre-bachelor, and continuing education courses and services to more than 1 million Illinois citizens each year. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Joliet Junior College Board of Trustees hereby designates the month of April as Community College Month in Illinois Community College District number 525, and encourages all citizens to recognize the value and opportunities available to them at Joliet Junior College and at community, technical, and junior colleges throughout the United States.
Thank you. That was Proclamation 1.2.2, Board of Trustee approval of April as Community College Month proclamation, and I need a motion to accept the proclamation.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Ash.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Item 1.2.3, Board of Trustee approval of April as Arab American Heritage Month proclamation.
Yes, good evening, Chairman Budzinski, trustees of the board. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Nargis Weiss. Nargis teaches interior design in the art department here at JJC. In addition to teaching, she is self-employed as an interior designer. Nargis holds an MBA in digital marketing from St. Xavier University and a Bachelor of Arts in Interior Design from the International Academy of Design and Technology in Chicago, and a Bachelor of Science in Accounting from the University of Jordan.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Resolution, Arab American Heritage Month. Whereas Joliet Junior College would like to officially recognize April as Arab American Heritage Month to acknowledge and celebrate the history of those who have made and continue to make valuable contributions in our society and ensuring progress and lasting equality for Arab American individuals. And whereas it is appropriate and right to celebrate a diversity of cultures and heritages, and such celebration serves as a reminder that despite our differing backgrounds, everyone in Illinois is bound by a common hope for a better and more inclusive future for our children. And whereas the Arab American community has a long and integral history in the United States. And whereas for over a century, Arab Americans have been making valuable contributions to virtually every aspect of American society, including medicine, law, business, technology, government, and culture. And whereas tens of thousands of Arab Americans have served during World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Iraq War, and the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq after September 11, 2001. And whereas the history of Arab Americans in American life often remains neglected and has been riddled with misunderstanding and bigotry. And whereas men and women of Arab descent have shared their rich culture, strong work ethic, and dedication to education, while embracing the American spirit of opportunity and helping us build a better nation and state for all. And whereas it is estimated that there are approximately 450,000 people of Arab American descent in Illinois, with more than 100,000 Arab American voters registered. And whereas we recognize and celebrate the contributions to cultural diversity, economic growth, and the overall development of our state and nation made by the Arab American community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Illinois Community College, District Number 525, Joliet Junior College, Counties of Will, Grundy, Kendall, LaSalle, Kankakee, Livingston, and Cook, State of Illinois, does hereby recognize and honor April as Arab American Heritage Month, adopted this 13th day of March, 2024.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Next item, 1.3, recognitions of retirement. 1.3.1, Richard Anderson. Karen Kissel.
Thanks, Chairman Bazinski. Joliet Junior College would like to officially recognize Richard Anderson, a dedicated building service worker for 26 years of service. Richard's commitment has been fundamental in supporting our college's mission, greatly enhancing the campus environment for students and staff alike. Reflecting on his nearly 3-decade tenure, Richard's passion for the Chicago Cubs, go Cubs, and his signature Cubs hat have brought a unique spirit to our campus. Richard's love for outdoor activities like fishing, motorcycling, and camping, combined with his skills in the game of bags, has brought joy to many of our college events. As Richard steps into retirement, we wish him a life filled with activities he loves, from baseball games and motorcycle rides to tranquil fishing trips and quality family time. Thank you, Richard, for your years of service and the positive impact you've made on our college. Your presence will be greatly missed.
Next item.
We need a motion to
Oh,
accept.
motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Next item, 1.3.2, Lori Carpenter, recognition of retirement. Karen Kissel.
Thank you, Chairman Bazinski. Joliet Junior College would like to officially recognize Lori Carpenter, our dedicated payroll manager for 28 years of service. Since beginning her journey as a student worker in 1995, Lori's unwavering commitment, especially evident during the pandemic and Christmas holidays, ensured that our payroll operations continued seamlessly, a true testament to her dedication and expertise. Lori's presence will be greatly missed at JJC. From her ever-changing collection of coffee mugs to her cheerful demeanor and engaging stories of Joliet's history, she brought joy and camaraderie to our community. Her timesheet reminders, filled with warmth and humor and a lot of colors, were highlights for many of us, reflecting the personal touch she brought to her role. A passionate reader, Lori's love for books is as profound as her love for her family. As she embarks on her well-deserved retirement, we know she eagerly anticipates spending more time with her cherished grandchildren, nurturing the next generation of her family tree. Lori, your professionalism, kindness, and warmth have left an indelible mark on us at JJC. As you step into retirement, we wish you endless days of joy, filled with reading, family time, and relaxation. You'll be dearly missed, and we thank you deeply for your 28 years of invaluable service to our college and community. Chairman Bazinski, Lori would like to say a few things, if she may.
Thank you.
Lori.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
If this goes well, I'd like to acknowledge retired Professor Vivian Van Dunk. If not, it's been almost 25 years since I took her speech class, so I might have forgotten her. After unexpectedly finding myself a single mom of an 8, 9, 10, and 13-year-old, displaced homemakers advised me to attend Joliet Junior College. I wanted to take enough classes to learn some marketable skills. My mom wanted me to get a degree. I have a degree. After I completed my first semester, I heard about the student worker program, applied for a few positions, and was hired in payroll. 28 and a half years later, I'm retiring as the payroll manager. It's been a bumpy ride. A smooth ride would have been boring. There have been a lot of changes, a lot of meetings, a lot of frustration, and a lot of worked hours. There's been a lot of satisfaction too, seeing the results of the changes, meetings, frustration, and worked hours. During the time I've worked at JJC, the payroll team has never missed a payroll deadline. We paid employees during floods in the summer, snowstorms and sub-zero weather in the winter, the COVID pandemic, and even workday. And I want to assure you that this quality will be maintained by my friend, coworker, and new payroll manager, Sergio Chairez. I'm going to miss seeing everyone on a regular basis, but look forward to maintaining the friendships of the many people I've met at JJC over the years. I would like to thank my huge, wonderful family for supporting me all these years. Several are here tonight, 4 of my 7 siblings, 2 of my 14 grandchildren, a nephew, and if my son isn't here yet, only 2 out of 4 of my children. Carrie and Susie are here with me tonight. Joni's watching live stream from Nevada because she couldn't fly. She was going to fly in, but she didn't. They are the reason I keep going. Thank you to all of you guys. When people ask when I'm going to retire, what am I going to do? The answer changes day to day. Tonight, it feels like sleep. A friend of mine is keeping track of my time on her phone because I don't want that calendar on my phone. 49 days left. Thank you very much.
Oh, she made it. Motion?
We need a motion, yes.
Yes. So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item is 1.4, closed session. The chair is requesting a motion to amend the agenda to move this item to the end of the meeting after reports.
Okay. Need a motion?
I need a motion.
So move. Second.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Mahalik?
Yes.
Trustee Ellis?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 1.6, public comments. Do you have any public comments?
I have something to read. Do I need to?
Public comment?
Hmm?
Is it a public comment?
Yeah, it's from former trustee Michael Connell. He's not here, and Bob Wunderlich was supposed to be here to read it, but he's not, so they've asked me to read it. Do I need to make a note of it?
The chair will have to decide.
Go ahead and read it.
Okay. Dear Board, I had the privilege to serve as a JJC trustee with Maureen Broderick for several years. My first impression was that she was a little outspoken, but I soon realized she knew what she was talking about. She did her homework and asked the tough questions. Her dedication to the position was impeccable. Upon joining the board in 2015, she immediately took a leadership position as secretary. A few years later, she moved to vice chairperson. She, along with myself, formed an exit interview committee. Our concern was the large number of employees leaving JJC during a past president's tenure. Maureen also initiated the finance committee. Probably her biggest contribution has been her involvement with the ICCTA. She is known throughout the Illinois community college system. This required a lot of time and travel. As far as I'm concerned, serving on the ICCTA goes above and beyond what most trustees would ever do. Probably the biggest mistake any board can make is having all yes people. You need members to put in the time and effort, as well as asking the president and fellow trustees the tough questions. The 5 years I served with Maureen, I didn't always agree with her, but I always respected her opinion. Sincerely, Mike O'Connell. Can you pass that to him? Thank you.
Item 1.7, a moment of silence. Dr. Newell.
Chairman Budzinski and members of the board, JJC community, I'm asking you to join me in a moment of silence for the following individuals. Nancy DeRoss, retired after 37 years as a professor in the Natural Sciences Department. Tyrone Stovall, retired after 34 years as a custodian in the Facilities Services Department. David Tierney, grandfather of Adam Woke, our Disability Services Manager. Dr. Berta Arias, retired after 27 years, 23 years as a faculty member in the English, Philosophy, and World Languages Department, and 4 years as coordinator of international education and a community education instructor. And Jerry Lewis, retired after 37 years as a professor in the Fine Arts Department.
Can I add two to that, please? So I'd like to add Ms. Monica Vasquez. She was the director for the Immigration Department over 30 years at the Spanish Community Center. And I'd also like to add a JJC employee who was a friend of mine, Mrs. Soledad Manso, who served this college for over 25 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Newell. Thank you, Trustee Morales. Item 1.8, selected reports. Item 1.8.1, faculty union report. I believe Dr. Marsink has taken the night off. However, I am going to reserve the right to ask him if he has any comments of the two people that have just left the faculty. I always enjoy his input in some stories that we don't normally hear just through proclamations. Same with the adjunct faculty union report. Ms. Laurel Deescow will not be here tonight as well. And well-deserved rest for them. They should get a break just as the students do. 1.8.3, Buildings and Ground Committee Report.
In construction at the moment, we have the replacement G building switchgear. We're planning to install this June. We also have the replacement B building main power transformer done. The HU replacement CDB project will be starting in May, as well as the replacement tile at the ECC playground. The replacement IT service room crack unit will be installed in June, and the replacement T building boiler with condensing boiler will be starting in April. The building H stair tread replacement, we are issuing a contract MPO. In the CNA lab at Romeoville, we're down to 2 minor punch list items and in design at the moment.
Yep, and they don't let them get down to those punch list items are checked off, and so we don't gonna get paid until that's officially done, which is what they like to do usually, so okay.
And in design at the moment, we have the Vet Tech Edition and mental health space.
We do have some upcoming bids. The Building K pipe installation had to go back out for bid because it was way over their bid, so they actually needs them to go back out to bid, I believe is what we said. The Building H HVAC unit replacement was also way over bid, but I think they only received 1 bid on that. Is that right, Matt? 1 bid on that one? So we're gonna reopen it back up to see if we can get some better options on that as well. Pavement maintenance program is there's select different areas that we're gonna redo alternately on different years so we don't screw up the traffic of the school. So that's going out current bids that are coming out to us, I think next month, I believe. The facade repairs, is that coming, Matt, next month too as well? Yeah, it's coming back out next month to us as well. And the building testing center HVAC renovation will also be going out for bid and should be coming to us, the board next month for approval. And that's it, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Item 1.8.4, Board Policy Committee Report.
Yes, thank you. So I do have a few policies that are in your workbook, in your board book, that I will be reviewing. If you have any discussion, we'll leave that towards the end of the conversation. Once we get to new business, old business. At this time, I'm just going to go over the policies. You are going to find 5 first read policies and 1 that is going to be a second read policy. The first one for the first read is going to be policy for the sick leave, that is 0.204.00. The recommendation of the committee is to move forward with the policy. We didn't make any changes on the content, but we did clarify the language to make it easier to understand. The second policy that you will find is the absence without leave, policy 020401. Again, the recommendation of the policy board, the policy committee, is to move forward with this policy. No changes on the content. We did clarify the language to make it easier to understand as well. The third one is the new employee introductory period, 02.01.07. The recommendation is to move forward on this policy. We did modify the language a little bit to make sure that we make a note that employees receive a review at 90 days and at 180 days, or as specified by a collective bargaining agreement. So we can go ahead and move forward with that policy. Number 4 is the grades, 04.16.00. For this one, we support this policy. We were not able to make an official recommendation due to the timing of the agenda, but the committee supports this policy. For this particular one, we made some changes to reflect and incorporate the Student Debt Assistance Act that adds some provisions and makes a note that we make sure that we are not preventing or withholding transcripts for students with outstanding balances, as well as restores original policy language regarding the recording of grades for repeat courses. Once we upgrade our system, it will allow us for better, to be able to take the better grade and using the GPA computation. But at this time, this is the policy that we are recommending. We can always revisit this as our system improves or we incorporate a new system. Number 5 is sale, disposal of college property, 13.04.00. The recommendation of the committee is to move forward. This is one of the policies that we brought up 2 different versions, and we were able to modify and go to a 3rd version that includes a little bit of both of the languages. One modification that we're going to make is we're going to add additional language on what the definition is of personal property in order to make it really clear. But other than that, no significant changes on this particular policy, and we're recommending the 3rd version to move forward. The second part that I'm going to be covering is the second read policy. This is going to be the exposure control plan, 12.05.00. This one eliminates or minimizes occupational exposure to blood-borne pathogens. The recommendation of the committee is to move forward with this policy. No changes on the content. We did go ahead and update the language to refer to the new law citation number. Okay. And then the last thing that I do want to mention is at our last meeting for the committee on 2/27/2024, we did receive a letter from our attorney, Brian Kupman, about a policy, 3.20.00. That the recommendation of the policy board is that the policy remains intact and unchanged at this time. And that's all that I have at this second.
Thank you.
Were you going to ask if we have any questions?
Not
When
at
we
this
get
time.
to, yeah, when we get to that part of the
Okay,
agenda.
Thank you. Just asking.
Thank you.
Item 1.8.5, Finance Committee Report.
There was no finance committee report. We're going to be meeting again this month, I believe, so.
Okay. Item 1.8.6, the President Report.
Chairman, thank you. I want to throw a couple of things in there that are not in my slides here. Last night I had the opportunity to testify in support of a new YMCA facility in the village of Shorewood. And so all of that's out in the public now, but for the last few years, actually, the village of Shorewood had been considering a new YMCA. And so, as many of you know, as part of my service to the community, I serve on the YMCA board. So I'm really happy to be able to support that project, as did, of course, the village of Shorewood trustees as well. So you'll hear more about that, but happy for Mayor DeBold, happy for the village trustees of Shorewood, and happy for the YMCA bringing another facility to Shorewood. Want to also just acknowledge that it's spring break, but Trustee Ellis is right here. And, right? So, and also, all of the students you see here, attached to whether it be the Sustainability Club or any number of things, how committed they are to be here over spring break. Really want to thank Jeff and KRT for bringing that to the board's attention, something certainly to celebrate. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of Amazon employees. We also have a great relationship with a very specific facility on Laraway, MDW4, and their site manager, James Walker, who took the team on a tour and is a member of our foundation as well. So I wanted to just take a moment to acknowledge him. And although she's left today, I think Lori will leave just a big mark, has left a big mark on the institution. So thank her for her many, many years of service. And lastly, before I jump into my slides here, I just want to acknowledge Deputy Chief Tracy Williams back there. I was able to visit the Polar Plunge. I did not participate in the Polar Plunge. I was merely an observer, but just want to acknowledge the team from Campus Police for actually plunging into the Braidwood Rec Center water, which looked pretty cold. From a distance, it looked pretty cold. So Chairman Budzinski and trustees of the board, before you today, we've got three things that I've highlighted in my memo to you that I just want to take some time to talk through today, as all members of this board have been right alongside us as we've kind of grappled with some critical decisions as it relates to our ERP migration. I feel like we've been all in this together. What you'll see in 3.2.5 is an important element of that. So this connects to board action that the board has already approved. Technically, according to policy, we probably don't have to bring this to the board, although Dr. Farmer and I are committed to transparency. So here's what we've done. It is board action tonight, and this is completely data related. So as part of our ERP project, one of the elements that we've struggled with has been our data, right? Not being clean, not being what we need it to be to migrate from one version of Colleague to another, or to integrate between Colleague and Workday and vice versa. So it's required considerable effort on the part of one of our Campus Works associates. And so this board action here extends that contract, but is still within the bounds of what you've already approved a few months ago. So I wanted to clarify that for the board. That is data related. Second, and very important in this day and age, recognizing the important role that our executives play in this institution, we thought it best, as we talked to the board about this, hiring a search firm to handle the permanent search for both the vice president for student development position and the CIO position. So that action before you is in front of you, and know that we've evaluated many, many search firms, and this is the search firm we're bringing to the board as a formal recommendation. And Chairman, lastly, item 3.5 is, so I just want to make some comments about this. This board, this college has not raised fees for our students in 4 years. And for those of you who've been on the board during that time, that probably comes as no surprise, but for those newer to the board, it should come as a surprise because colleges across the country raise fees and rates and course fees on their students on a regular basis. We have taken an extremely conservative and careful approach when considering whether or not to pass on certain costs to our students. So just know that we are committed to that. We're committed to taking a student-centered, cost-conscious approach when it comes to charging our students with additional fees. Now, mind you, I also want to give some kudos to our academic leaders, and very specifically Dr. Amy Gray, as I've been in her role and have fielded hundreds and hundreds of course fee requests over the years, and you just can't say yes to all of them, regardless of how justified those may be. So thankfully, the faculty have a very similar approach to the administration, but I will tell you that the fees that you see in front of you, and they're in 3 areas, but you have really a total of 45. Just so you know, there were over 300 requests that the administration evaluates carefully. And when I say the administration, Dr. Gray, as our chief academic officer, evaluates very carefully along with our dean sitting in the back there, because again, we are committed to being student-centered and cost-conscious. So we bring that to you today. And also as a reminder to the board, you'll recall that we actually lowered fees for some programs as recently as the fall semester. So we'll continue to be committed to that approach. I want to share a few other things in regards to the cabinet. I invited the cabinet to join me today at an event called Pathways to Professions. It's run by Will County Workforce Board. Caroline Portlock, Michelle Stiff, and all of their staff. There were 800 students in attendance, and I was honored to be asked by both Caroline and Michelle to give the keynote speech to this large group. Dr. Bertino Tarrant was there with us, and she gave the welcome. It was a really powerful moment as I paired our cabinet members with individual students, and you'll see Karen Kissel over on the left there. You'll see Dr. Farmer in the middle there. You'll see Christy Mulvey on the right-hand side. Every single member of the cabinet was there to share parts of themselves, stand next to these students to talk about what college and the college experience could mean to them. And lastly on this, Chairman, I might just add that my message to them was about courage, that it was about the amount of courage that it takes to get to this level right here and this level right here pales in comparison to the amount of courage it takes to stay here. Right. So again, want to acknowledge the cabinet, even though they were contractually obligated to join me, they appeared to do so willingly. I want to thank, I'm going to say Trustee Mahalik, Trustee Morales, all the cabinet for joining us at the YMCA, Joliet Area YMCA Gala, where we were able to celebrate that organization and all the incredible things. The Tonellis in there as well. And you'll see Tiana. Thankfully, there are no pictures of dancing, videos of dancing, but I'm sure if you really asked some of them, there are videos of dancing because you'll see the dance floor in the back. I want to thank the trustees who were able to join me for the Joliet Chamber Annual Dinner and Celebration of Success. Also, Keikoa was, we'll just say he was volunteer. He'll say he volunteered to join me for that event. Again, JJC freshman, Keikoa Namuo. Yeah, I do want to take just a moment to thank the Board of Trustees. Presidents need professional development as well. We need to invest in ourselves. We need to invest in activities and opportunities to grow. So I had an opportunity to travel back to Washington, D.C., I'm going to say a couple of weeks ago or so, and participate in the American Council on Education's President and Chancellor Summit. A really amazing experience. And this was a very intimate room. It was a room the size of this room right here, with presidents and chancellors from universities and community colleges across the country. I got to meet the president of San Diego State University, one of my universities I went to, along with other community college leaders and university presidents. And it was a really powerful thing. The individuals we had in that room, just to give you an idea, to give us a broad perspective of higher education, not just from the community college lens, but broader. So over on the left-hand side, I know it's tough to see, so I'm going to talk this through. Have any of you used Khan Academy? So Khan Academy is an online, I see Trustee Harris kind of, I relearned calculus on Khan Academy to help my kids with their math because it had been a while. Khan Academy has been so successful as an online video tutorial for parents trying to help their kids with their math homework. So the gentleman standing is Ted Mitchell. He's the CEO of the American Council on Education. The gentleman seated that we had an audience with is the founder of Khan Academy, Sal Khan. Over on the right-hand side, two individuals that are tough to make out on this screen here. One is Freeman Rabowski, who's the president emeritus of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and the governor of Maryland himself, Wes Moore, over on the right-hand side. Really just an incredible experience, energizing, and thank the trustees for providing me the opportunity to go to events like this and to be energized and bring a lot of that back to JJC. Some of you may have seen this on social media. Dr. Proctor and I, who's the president of Harper College, were joined by Jim Reed, the executive director of the ICCTA, down in Springfield to testify before the Senate Higher Education Committee in support of, and this is something I've threatened to do, trustees, before I got here, to allow community colleges the authority to offer bachelor's degrees. That is something, yes, that is something I'd like to work toward. We can clap about that. We can clap about that. That is something I'd like to work toward, and as many of you know, I was part of that effort in Arizona. So I thought it went very well. Pressed to come out of it, I thought went very well. I remain hopeful. Kainoa, Tiana also were able to join me. Again, willingly, I might add. And most recently at the Grundy Area Economic Development Council, you'll see we've got a table there. There were 450 people there and individuals. It was a joint effort, the Grundy Economic Development Council and the chamber there as well. And I believe Trustee Broderick was there representing a different organization. I want to just take a moment to acknowledge Dr. Farmer. She was acknowledged by our DEI office for all of the extraordinary things she does for Joliet Junior College, for really being a model for other leaders, other women leaders, other leaders, and just want to take a moment, if we can give Dr. Farmer a round of applause for that recognition. Open Gym's still a thing, so I just want to invite the college community to come join me at Open Gym. It's not so scary. You probably won't get injured, but there's a segue. There's a segue. So this was a wellness initiative, right? It's an effort on my part to invest in my health, to do something I love, frankly. I made that basket, Chairman. I made that basket, just for the record. And that's who I am and what I've tried to promote among the executive leaders and across the college altogether. We're people before we're employees, and gosh darn it, I'm going to make some time to play basketball. So here's a segue. Over the last 8 weeks, chairman and trustees and JJC community, I need to peek into my notes here. We've got 2 slides. The cabinet has followed my lead and invested in their own health and wellness. And apparently, there is a group called WAG. It's the Workout Accountability Group, Chairman. Workout Accountability Group. Over the last 8 weeks, and I believe we have a video coming up, perhaps. And Escortina's off today, but there's Karen Kissel and Escortina and Amy Gray back there. So let me just say, they've invested in their health. Over the last 8 weeks, collectively, they have lost 58.2 pounds. How about a hand for Cabinet? What a great way to end the president's report today. What a great way. And Chairman, with that, I'll yield back.
Can I ask a question? I noticed when you went to ACE, I was looking at the colleges that went. I noticed that there was just us and one other community college from Illinois. Is there a presence of community colleges at this? And
That's a
what
good
do we
question.
gain from it?
So that's a good question, Trustee Broderick. I would say, we're one of the more prominent community colleges there. Another prominent community college would be Northern Virginia Community College, which I believe the First Lady, Jill Biden, teaches at.
Right.
So while their community college representation is not what they want it to be, part of JJC being there is an effort to recruit more community colleges, because when higher education as a whole, universities specifically want something in DC, this is the organization they go through. So they've invited me to be a part, and I think it's going to be a tremendous benefit to JJC.
Thank you for going. I'm really happy that you got invited, number one, and that you took the time to participate, because I know there's always value in these summits, and you bring back a lot of great information.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
I have a point of order that I'd like to call.
Yes.
Can I read?
Yes.
Okay. We've all been trained on the Open Meetings Act. As a result, I'm addressing an issue related to a violation of the Act. I am requesting that the board minutes that are going to be up on the agenda of 2/14/24 be reviewed at a later date due to the minutes containing information that resulted from the closed session of 2/14/24. The board went into closed session under 2C1, which was limited to discussing the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of public body or legal counsel for the public body. Like elected trustees of the school board community, college trustees are occupants of the public body, not employees of the public body. Section 2C1 does not provide a basis for the board to close a meeting to discuss the conduct of a board trustee, which was done on 2/14/24 and also previously done on 10/15/23. On 10/15/23, the president did so to discuss the conduct of a trustee. The board is not specifically authorized by law to conduct a hearing on any allegations made against a trustee in closed session. The comments by the president that the board discussed in closed session were not a matter to any adjudicatory or quasi-adjudicatory process. With these OMA violations occurred in closed session, the board must delay the review of these minutes. When the board came out of closed session on 2/14/24, Trustee Lee knelt between the president and the chair, in which she obtained all of the notes that were discussed in closed session from the president's laptop. Trustee Lee then proceeded to make motions on those items discussed in closed session, which is an additional OMA violation. The board did not approve any information to be transferred from closed session to open session, nor is it appropriate for the president to give his notes to Trustee Lee and effectuate an illegal action discussed in closed session. Trustees are prohibited from taking notes in closed session, nor retaining any written records on matter discussed in closed session. I am bringing up this point of order to allow for a motion to defer the approval of these minutes until there is a legal review of OMA violations. A legal opinion on this matter is required for JJC. I'm looking for a second for the board to concur and allow legal to review this matter and avoid continuing the violation of the OMA. So I'm making the motion. And I'm looking for a second.
I'll second.
Discussion? So I'll start out by saying part of what you just read is not factual at all. You claim I came out of the meeting and shared notes I took and opened.
I didn't say you.
You said she knelt between the two of us.
And she had it from the president's laptop.
That is not true at all. She did not take any notes I had, because I don't take notes in there. I walk out of that room empty-handed.
I didn't
I'm
say
one
that.
of the ones who don't even bring my phone in here. So,
None of that was even discussed
I was
in
gonna say,
closed
that's
session
the-
on 214. First of all, that was a piece of paper that I had done my own research on, and I was fuzzy on dates. So when I knelt, did not even speak to chairman, I spoke to the president. That was my piece of paper that I printed, that I had previous to coming to the meeting. It was not anything that happened, and I had blank dates, and I was just making sure with the president that I had the direct dates correct. So that's what we were discussing.
Then you must have discussed this before the closed session.
Again, we did not discuss anything that day in closed session, and yes, the president and I had multiple conversations about your behavior, because I am on the policy committee, so every time that you would violate a policy and a procedure, he would call me, and and possibly Garcia Gann as well, and he would talk to us about it, and he would say, hey, do you know I'm having problems with this? Do you think that this is a violation? I'd look into the policy, I'd say, yeah, I really do think that this is a violation. All of that and all of those conversations were had way before that 10/24 or 10/23 meeting that you're talking about that happened in October of 2023.
October 15th.
Nothing was a violation of Open Meetings Act, so can we point of order to move on?
I think we have to vote on it.
Oh, we have to.
Yep. Since there was a motion and a second. We have to vote on it.
So this is the motion to delay the approval of the minutes? Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
No.
Trustee Lee?
No.
Trustee Mahalik?
No.
Trustee Morales?
No.
Trustee Ellis?
No.
Trustee Bazinski?
no.
Motion fails.
So item 1.9.1, the approval of the minutes for regular meeting held on February 14, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
We'll need a roll call.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
No.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Just to be sure, these are the minutes that we're,
The minutes that are in the book.
okay. Okay, no.
Trustee Mahalik?
Yes.
Trustee Ellis?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 1.10,
Point of order.
what is your point of order?
I am again raising a point of order stating that the same concerns that were stated in my previous point of order, and that on the agenda that the board resolution 2024-R01 be removed from the agenda. Its contents came only from closed session, in which 2C1 was used as the improper and illegal reason to go into closed session. OMA 5 LCS 120/2C1. I make the motion to strike any reference to items obtained from any unlawful closed session, including but not limited to a repeat of any of the unlawful actions taken in violation of the OMA. Any further action on the items from closed session continues to expand the OMA violation, put the college and each agreeing trustee in further violations and possible disciplinary and/or fines by the power that regulates us.
There's no second.
There's no second.
Just for clarification.
I made the motion to remove that.
Is it to remove the entire resolution or
The
just?
entire resolution.
Okay, I understood it to be what was, some things that were referenced in the resolution.
No, to the entire resolution.
Okay.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
looking for a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
I would just like to say that the only person that's been in violation of Open Meeting Acts, to my knowledge, has been Maureen.
No discussion.
No further discussion? Okay, we'll vote.
Trustee Broderick?
No.
Trustee Harris?
No.
Clarification?
You, by voting no, you're saying you're not agreeing to strike
did
it.
the motion.
Do the agenda with the
No,
item.
your motion was to strike
To
the
revisit.
resolution.
To strike it. Oh,
So
so
it should
that's a
be
yes.
yes.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, these motions get weird. Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Now I look like a mockingbird, but yes, I'm glad you clarified that because I,
Thanks for clarifying.
Trustee Garcia again?
No to removing the resolution.
Trustee Lee?
No.
Trustee Mahalik?
No.
Trustee Morales?
No.
Trustee Ellis?
No.
Trustee Bazinski?
No.
Motion fails.
Item 1.10, the approval of the agenda
As
As
amended.
amended.
So move.
as amended. Yes.
What would be the amendment?
The
Moving
amendment,
the closed session to the end.
Oh, yes, that's
Yes,
correct.
then we're good. So move.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
Motion carries.
item 1.11, approval of consent agenda as presented.
So move.
Second.
I'd like items 3.1 pulled, 3.25, and 3.26 pulled.
And we need a vote.
Trustee Garcia again?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes, we're pulling, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
we're still voting on the rest. Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Mahalik?
Yes.
Trustee Ellis?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Back to item 3.1, approval to pay the listing of bills for the period ending February 29th, 2024 as presented.
We need a motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
My questions keep coming up, and I asked this at the last meeting, because we get those bills that are on the revolving, I think that's what it's called. And Brian, I thought you were gonna look into it, because I question, when we look at all of them, like for Alpha Media, I got $9,311 for that account. Comcast Holding is over $15,760. Indicom Electric is $98.93. Then I'm looking at Facebook is $6,031, and Google is $11,422. Is there any way, even though they may have different invoices, they're still coming out of that account? So is there any way that this can be brought so that we can see these? Because I had asked you at the last meeting, that's why I brought this and pulled this one out.
I don't recall being asked that, so I apologize, number one. Number two, it would depend if they're for different services. You can
Well-
have different bills for different services from different vendors.
No, I know,
So
but-
if they're different, pursuant to different contracts, pursuant to different vendor agreements, then it all depends.
But if you look at the Google ones, it's 500, 500, 500, 22 times. So it's marketing, it's definitely the marketing. It's over $11,000. Shouldn't we be seeing that? If it's constantly a Google, 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 Google?
I will review the policy.
Would you review
to
that?
see how it reads, but I don't recall that being an issue. I will double check.
Okay, I'm just asking again since I asked last time. Thank you.
You know, I don't disagree with that either. It'd be nice to see the total, what we're spending on marketing. I know we're doing a good job because I see the enrollment numbers going up, but I'd like to see the total at least on that as well, so.
Any other comments for discussion? Okay, discussion's closed, we can take a vote. And this is on 3.1,
Approval of bills.
correct.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes?
Trustee Garcia again? Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Mahalik?
Yes.
Trustee Ellis?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next pulled item is 3.2.5, professional service, technical personnel supplementation for the ERP restart project. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
My question is this, and I'm a little bit confused. When we had Campus Works come in and assess everything, why didn't they identify the needs of this then, instead of us having to come back and then approve the $1 million for that? I was in a quandary when we approved it, trying to figure out why they didn't identify this ahead of time, because I don't want to keep seeing bits and pieces coming for us to have to approve more money for each little thing that all of a sudden comes up. Is there not something conclusive that we then gear them to say, we're not doing anything more, this is it? Do you have your full array of things that we need to do for it?
I'm just be really quick, I wasn't under the same understanding. We approved a certain amount, which was a very large amount, and what they're saying is, hey, we're taking from that amount, so we're not approving any more money. We're taking from that amount that we've already approved.
That's not
to
my
you.
question, though. My question is, why didn't they pick it up at the onset that we had to come back and do this? Because I don't want to see any more items like this coming to us if they're not conclusive when they first did the initial review of everything.
If you are referring to the IV&V process,
Right,
that was very different
okay.
from what we are dealing with right now.
Okay, I'm trying to
So
understand.
that's okay. For Campus Works right now, we made a commitment to the college community to continue to build the infrastructure for us to move forward with the project. So this is for infrastructure, specifically support for IT, technical support. IV&V was a separate process.
So when you're saying the IT support, is that the people support?
That is a human capital support, correct?
Okay, so if it's the human capital, when they came in, did they not see that we were deficient in the people's resource that we needed?
No,
They didn't see?
not comprehensively, no.
Okay.
When we hired our project managers, that's when we did a deep dive.
So that's when they found it?
Absolutely.
And have they identified anything else that might? Or are they pretty good with everything now?
We have some other opportunities.
Okay,
Thank you for your support.
thank you.
Any other discussion questions? Ready for a vote?
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia again? Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Mahalik?
Yes.
Trustee Ellis?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 3.2.6, professional service hiring firm for executive positions. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
My concern is this, and I'm going to share this. When we did the presidential search, I negotiated hard and fast, and we were under $35,000 for looking for the president search. I am blown away by $154,000. I think we need to look at other resources. I'm sorry, but if we went for the president and we were under the $35,000 and we're doing $154,000 for no one compared to his rank, I'm confused of where we're going for this one then. Why aren't we using the same firm that would have been a lot less? Because that firm started at 50 and I got him down to the under the 30 mark. So why aren't we even considering that firm? Because $154,000 seems extremely high.
Is this as many positions as we want to advertise and get thing for, or is it just, it's not just for one, like the president's search, obviously, right?
Right, yeah. So the first thing is, it's two, but what I'd like to do is, because I want to kind of dig into this and have the board kind of understand the procurement process as well, and that's a conversation we can have. So I want to invite either Karen or Judy to kind of speak to that, and then if we need to bring Matt into the conversation, we'll do that. So Karen or Judy? Or Dr. Farmer, you want to start with you?
So I would recommend for Judy Conley first, from a human resources standpoint, because her team did a comprehensive review of 5 search firms for these 2 positions.
Gotcha.
Thank you very much. So I just wanted to start that we did work within the higher ed purchasing consortiums that we have available to identify firms that could conduct one or both of the searches. And we narrowed it down to 5 and then took a very comprehensive look at those 5, from which Isaacson Miller rose to the top. We are expecting them to conduct a very comprehensive search and invest their resources to bring us candidates. I do know, in comparison to the presidential search, that we did a lot of that work in-house, in partnership with that group that did the search. There was still a lot of JJC resources expended to bring forth the candidates. We're hoping with this search firm, we're expecting that they will do more of that legwork. They're going to do a very comprehensive recruitment search. We are going to identify liaisons here, still have a search chair and a co-chair for each, but more of the responsibility on the search firm itself.
Did you look at the search firm that we used for the presidential search?
That was not one of the 5, but I am aware of them, yes.
Why wouldn't you have looked at them if we had experience with them before? And she has experience, that company does have experience finding CIOs, and she works with higher education. That's her force of looking for personnel. Why wouldn't we have considered it?
I think that they were on the initial list of firms, but as we narrowed it down and then looked within the consortium further, we identified 5 others.
I think, I just have a question about the position for the policy committee, and that we've been having trouble finding someone for that. So is that gonna be looked at as something that we're gonna go out for and have help through the search form as well if we are not able to find someone? Because I didn't see them listed, that position listed.
That position is not included in this board action, but we're fairly far along. So either Judy or Karen, can you kind of talk to where we are in that
Compliance
process?
officer search. If you want to give an update, just.
Sure, that position has been posted. We had 25 applicants, and we're pulling together a search committee to review the applicants within the next few days.
Thank you.
And my only other comment is that for a trustee to say, I am the one who negotiated something when we as trustees are not supposed to do things like that, I don't think, I don't know, I just am taken back by that comment a little bit.
So wait,
That's
let's stick to the discussion on this agenda item only, please.
So Judy, real quick, it sounds like you chose the top 5 organizations because the one that we had as a board agreed to utilize when doing the presidential search, that company required that the college pick up a lot of the legwork and put in a lot of our own resources, whereas these other organizations, they're going to pretty much be managing the entire search.
And they had the capability and competence to do both of these searches, which are very different.
Correct.
When you're looking for a CIO versus a vice president of student
Absolutely.
development, so.
Okay, thank you so much.
But just to give you a point of reference, it was agreed upon with Nicole and with the owner of that company to do it that way so that we could lessen the fees. And Nicole was very wanting to do whatever we could do to make it cost effective for us, because that was the big concern.
We all agreed to take
Trustee
out.
Garcia, again, how many people are on that committee that were campus staff?
I'm going to say at least 7. I can go ahead and double check the
No,
numbers.
I'm just curious. So we had 7
At least.
JJC paid employees
At
that were
least.
part of that, which,
Correct.
Okay.
Well, don't quote me on the number. I would have to double check. I know that we did have community members as well.
yes,
Again, what we're looking at is different.
yes,
So that's important to note. I did have a comment, if I can go ahead and make it.
yes.
So I am in support of this particular item, 3.26. Again, it's okay if in the past we looked at a different firm to do the search, but again, this is what we're looking at right now based on the necessity and based on the assistance that we need. We don't have the ability to do multiple things well, so if we can go ahead and pay a executive, hiring a firm to actually help with a lot of that HR work to minimize additional burden on your team, I'm in support of moving forward with this. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Just a question, just for clarity. The 154,000, is that for both positions, the
Yes.
search for both positions?
Yes, both
Okay.
positions and include some of their fees as well, yes.
Any other discussion?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll vote on the motion, please.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Ellis?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
No.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Mahalik?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 3.5, Board of Trustees approval of course fees effective fall 2024.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Karen, you ready to vote?
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Mahalik?
Yes.
Trustee Ellis?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4 under new business and old business, 4.1, first reading of board policies. 4.1.1, excuse me, new employee introductory period. Any discussions or questions for the policy committee on that one?
As a reminder, the policies, we already reviewed them, but at this time, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask them at this time.
I'm still concerned about the sale and disposal of college personal property.
That would be
We're not there
4.1.
Pardon me?
That would be 4.1.5.
Correct.
13.04.00.
Yes.
Okay, go
Right.
ahead.
I'm still concerned that we don't see the definition of the college property.
Correct.
And quality control, procedure and inventory control for quality control, as I had mentioned before. I don't see where we have an inventory, that we have any checkings and balances. I'm missing the check and balances. I don't want to see what we went through with the forensic audit, that we had to go through to double check things. So I see that missing in this.
Restate that again.
I don't see
Checks
the
and
definition of the
balances.
college property
I got that one.
and the procedure and inventory control for quality control.
Inventory control.
Right. And then also, I know when you guys were discussing about, in your committee meeting, is there any way, when we look at these items that are showing, that we can, when we go to the computer, we can press on them to see what was on the previous one?
Like the history?
So if I'm looking at
of the
12/20,
revision?
if I'm looking at 12/20/15, because I know you guys want to try and get, change things. If I'm looking at 12/20/15, how will I know what it looks like if I can't hit that to see what that old one was?
That's what the policy committee is for, and we bring the recommendations here.
But-
So-
We can always see the existing policy online, though.
Correct.
You can see the
Yeah.
existing, but if you want to look back to see if there's anything that was in it that may be brought to their attention again, we should be able to go to the highlight of that year. Is it possible to do?
That would be,
Karen, I'm not familiar with the system and how you do all of that enough to know.
It's not on our website, no. We might have it somewhere in our NAVEX system, but I don't even know how far it would go back to 2015. So
And
we
is
don't
that
have a
something
history.
that we can even make available to the trustees easily, where we can go in the NAVEX system and be able to click on that? And it sounds like if you want to hear about that type of policy, it's something you may have to come in and sit in and request that type of thing.
You'd have to go into a training of NAVAX if that information's available.
Correct.
Okay.
I have a comment on the policy 13.04.00 on the sale and disposal of college personal property. I understand one of the modifications is that we removed real property from this policy, but I'd like to see maybe language incorporated where we define that, or at least where we state that real property will be handled in the manner according to state statute, or how we're going to be handling real property, like real estate, as opposed to personal property, which is anything that's detachable from the college.
So we have a few recommendations then to go back to committee with. We want possibly a definition of real property and of personal property.
Correct.
And a reference to that real property is handled according to state statute, and maybe something referencing a procedure and inventory control. There is no procedure attached to this specific. If you look at it, there's no.
I know, I saw none.
So, I'm not, we'll talk about that then, I guess.
We can go ahead and bring it back.
We'll bring it back and I guess talk again.
Thank you.
Is there something you could possibly put in, like useful life, or like something where you guys are going to find out where the useful life is defined at, like what kind, because that may be easier, add that addition to it too as well, so.
For
whatever department references right now, we can use the useful life, so they know when pieces of equipment are beyond their useful life, and that's when we would open up the sale. That's generally what happens, I believe, so.
Got it. Okay.
Thank you.
So we have a few things
Is that
to bring it back.
recommendation for both real property and personal property to put that wording of useful life in there, or is that just for personal property?
Personal.
I think personal.
Just personal. But he's building and grounds, so I don't know where his mind was at. I had to ask.
Well, it is kind of, it's because.
Kind of both, right?
It's whenever the furniture reaches its useful life, they say it
Okay.
and they release it and they update it, so yeah, so.
But that wouldn't apply for real property.
No, I don't think that would apply for the property either, so.
Okay.
You're right.
Perfect.
Do you want to give us the
That may
complete
be
summary of what
something
you're
easier to
taking back?
define it.
Just make sure we captured all the concerns.
So the complete summary of what I'm taking back is that we would like the definition of real property and personal property in there, and possibly a reference that real property is handled by state statute. We are also going to look at procedure and inventory control, adding something referencing that, and useful life, as well as defining what is college personal property.
Thank you.
Chairman, may I make a comment here? Trustee Morales, got me thinking of how other colleges I've been at kind of handled that. And, my previous college, essentially policy 1.1 read, the board must follow state statute, federal guidelines, all of the things. So it was all encompassing, and then other policies pointed to that one, or sort of encompassed all the other policies in one, as opposed to taking this approach where we would do that for every single policy. Does that make sense, Brian?
I think so, and I apologize, I was distracted by my.
No, not at all. We can take it offline. Just a suggestion to have one general statement overall that the board must.
My only concern is that as
follow
there
all.
is so
Yeah.
many state codes, I still like that the state codes are mentioned in each policy, so that when we're going through them, we can reference them. So that's my only
Right,
thing
and then when
with
they
that.
change
It's like,
though, right,
we're gonna
right,
follow
right.
all, then you won't know which policy has which code, and
That's a good
I
point.
don't know.
That's a good point.
And I think our policies already say that we
Okay,
follow state,
okay,
the Community College Act.
Just sort of
Okay,
some sort of reference,
okay.
I think we're stating to how real property is handled.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. So moving forward, we're looking at 4.1, 4.12, 4.13, and 4.14 to move on to second read, and 4.15 to go back to the policy committee. Is that correct?
Correct.
And I do thank the policy committee for putting up with this one coming back to you for the 74th time, but.
Sorry. We're getting a discussion going, so,
Yes.
and it's resulting in something positive, so
Yes,
we're fine.
thank you. Item 4.3, approval to make available for public inspection a copy of the verbatim record of the closed session of September 13, 2023, from minute mark 52:43 to the end.
So moved. Second.
And this was due to an OMA violation. Just so you all know, it was due to an OMA violation. As was stated in the closed session, I kept saying that we were not supposed to be doing it, and it was true. We were not supposed to be in closed session for that. So the Attorney General did come back with a ruling on, was it February 5th, February 16th?
So again, 4.3, approval to make available for public inspection a copy of the verbatim record of the closed session of September 13, 2023, from minute mark 52:43 to the end. Do we have a motion and a second? Okay, we're ready to vote then.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Mahalik?
Yes.
Trustee Ellis?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4.4, Board Resolution 2024 R01, approval of vote of no confidence as trustee Maureen Broderick.
So moved.
Second.
Again, these are all the items that were mentioned in closed session on October 15th, 2023, and 2/14/24. Any further action on these items from closed session continues to expand the OMA violation and put the college and each agreeing trustee in further violations and possible disciplinary and/or fines by the power that regulates us. This is not normal to do a resolution. Who's the one that typed this one up? Who's the one that, Brian, did you do this one? Did you?
Yes.
You wrote this?
I was directed to do that, yes.
You were directed to do it.
Correct.
This is not normal. When you do, it's either a censure or this. They've done the censure. This is duplication, and it's really damaging the college image.
I would like to, can I state the fact that, first of all, we were not in, you were the one who was in violation, and the Attorney General's recommendation is that you were the one who actually violated OMA, and that is why we had to approve those minutes. Because you were mentioning things, not to mention the fact that you keep, we can talk about things that you mentioning, the fact that these things happened in closed session is the problem, Maureen. You're the one in violation right now.
No, I'm not in violation.
Yes, you are.
So,
No.
stop. You have your chance to rebut after she speaks, but let her speak. Are you finished?
Yeah.
Okay. Most of what was in those censure votes did not come out of Open Meetings Act. They're things we've all experienced. They're things that took place long before any of the closed sessions. So the closed session is irrelevant to the fact that all these conditions existed long before then. It's just a cumulative behavior that has been going on. It just keeps adding up, and that is what the frustration point was, and that's why it was brought up the way it was. It had nothing to do with the Open Meetings Act. It had nothing to do with closed sessions. These are all things that have been discussed with us, with you and me together on the phone multiple times, that these exist. So to try and hide behind a closed session, that's not what happened. It's clearly not what happened. All these are things the board has experienced. Dr. Numuo has experienced. Multiple people in this room have experienced, and
Since
none of them were in
2015.
closed session.
Since 2015.
So,
Do you need me to read it?
do we read the resolution?
I'm sorry?
Do we read the resolution, or?
You can if you want. I don't think it's worthwhile.
Okay.
Any additional discussion?
Any discussion? Further discussion?
Nope.
Karen, we're ready for a vote?
I have a question.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick mentioned a resolution and the censure. The censures were done a meeting ago, and so now we have the resolution. And the resolution, I'm somewhat seeing that those are two of the same thing. So why do we need two? And if we have record or documentation already of the censures, what is the purpose of the resolution? And could the resolution be pulled?
I'm in favor of reading the resolution because I believe that they are two different things. In the resolution, it is basically saying that we are making a no confidence vote in Trustee Broderick due to her multiple violations of trustee code of conduct. So this is before she was reprimanded for the behavior through the censures, which is simply a slap on the hand. It does nothing. The resolution is so that is more of a public knowledge and a public thing. And yes, you know, it is sad that we have to all come together because we have all been bullied by you and harassed by you and almost stalked by you. The fact that you
Okay,
have...
wait, I got to stop you and go back. We're responding to her question of the comparison between the resolution
please.
and the censures. We're going to ask the attorney for
Yeah,
some
thank you. So, no, you do not have to do the resolution, but they are two separate things. So at the last meeting, there were censures. Censures are based on specific conduct. It's a reprimand, if you will, of actually, it's not a reprimand. It's the opinion of this board that the actions were improper in some way. A vote of no confidence, if you look at it in the hierarchy of things, is less, I don't know, less damaging than a censure, because a censure is based on specific conduct. A vote of no confidence doesn't have to be based on any specific conduct. I think as the resolution reads, it is based on the fact, partly, the censures that were issued. So it's not the same thing, it's different, but it is not necessary and it's not needed, to answer your questions.
And normally, lack of confidence is just a lack of confidence vote. It does not spell out the things as is written in the rules of lack of confidence.
It's a motion, and whoever makes the motion can cite it however they would like. So.
I'd like to read it if I could.
She can read it?
That's up to you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You chose
Do you
to
have
read?
it?
Do I have it?
Right here.
Oh, Lynette.
Joliet Junior College Board Resolution 2024-R01, whereas the Board of Trustees has developed and adopted numerous policies designed to govern the conduct and responsibilities of its trustees for the purposes of ensuring the organized and efficient governance of Illinois Community College District 525, Joliet Junior College. Whereas the Board of Trustees has specifically adopted policy number 01.03.00 entitled Trustee Code of Conduct, governing the general conduct of its members by providing for responsible and respectful leadership of the college. Whereas on February 14th, this Board of Trustees censured Trustee Maureen Broderick for actions in violation of the Trustee Code of Conduct, specifically the following: making disparaging comments about the college president at the Association of Community College Trustees Conference in February of 2024, making disparaging comments about Chairman Budzinski at the ACCT conference in February of 2024, making disparaging comments about other college trustees at the ACCT conference on February of 2024, surreptitiously viewing and photographing another trustee's itinerary and travel information for the ACCT conference in February of 2024, making disparaging comments about the college president to other Illinois Community College president in November of 2023, confronting college employees with various operational issues in November of 2023, attempting to benefit another individual apart from the total interest of the college when confronting the college president in August of 2023 to advance a particular candidate for a job at the college, making negative comments about the college president at the Illinois Community College Trustee Association, ICCTA, conference in September of 2023, making negative comments about Chairman Budzinski at the ICCTA conference in September of 2023, making negative comments about other college trustees at the ICCTA conference in September of 2023, using college staff and resources for her personal benefit by having staff make copies of personal documents for her in August of 2023, breaching confidentiality by disclosing executive session information to a third party in September of 2023, and unprofessionally confronting an executive board member for the College Foundation in September of 2023 and making what was perceived by that executive board member to be a threat. And whereas, in light of the aforementioned censures, the Board of Trustees further wishes to express its loss of confidence in Trustee Maureen Broderick to faithfully, cooperatively, responsibly, respectfully, and in the spirit of harmony serve as a trustee of the college. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Illinois Community College District 525, Joliet Junior College, counties of Will, Grundy, Kendall, LaSalle, Kankakee, Livingston, and Cooks, State of Illinois, no longer has confidence in the ability of Maureen Broderick to serve as a trustee of the Illinois Community College District 525, Joliet Junior College, adopted this 13th day of March of 2024. So moved.
We already have a motion and
You already
a
have a
second,
motion.
as a reminder.
Ready to vote?
There should be discussion.
We
You're
had the
ready.
discussion before we read
You
it.
already had it.
You had the motions, now there's discussion. She read it, you had the motions,
We had
that's the
the
No,
order.
no, we had the
prior.
discussion before she read it.
The reading was part of the discussion.
Yep.
What
All of these are considered subjective, not proven, all subjective from what was said in those two meetings of closed sessions. And if you vote for this, you're an OMA violator.
Okay. Ready to vote?
We're ready to vote.
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Ellis?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
No.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
No.
Trustee Mahalik?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving to item 5, reports. 5.1, the student trustee report. Ms. Ellis.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My report tonight reflects the outstanding work of my fellow student peers, their dedication and commitment to excellence, and JJC's commitment to honoring our strategic plan. On February 16th, the Center of Multicultural Access and Success organized Black Teen Summit, attended by 366 students from 11 high schools in the surrounding areas. The summit aimed to empower students with the theme, I can, I will, I am. They had a keynote speaker who talked about resilience and various breakout sessions that encouraged students to be mindful with their language. Marking the end of Black History Month, on Friday, February 23rd, Black Student Union hosted its second annual Black Excellence Gala. The theme for this year's gala was Black Excellence in Business, which celebrated the success of African American business owners in the community. The event also aimed to support the Joel Dennis Scholarship, which helps African American males pursue their college education. Overall, the gala was a fantastic opportunity to recognize and celebrate the achievements of African American business owners while also contributing to a great cause. Our student athletes are achieving great success. March 1st through the 2nd, a group of our student wrestlers attended nationals. Congratulations to Paul Cadlick for placing 7th out of 174 NJCAA D3 wrestlers. Since my last report, our men's basketball team captured the NJCAA Division III Region 4 Championship with the 86-58 victory over Harper College. This past Saturday, the Wolves also beat Owens Community College 90-89, winning the Great Lakes District Championship. The team is currently in New York to compete in nationals with their first game today. The team has requested me to ask everyone to wish them good luck as they aim to bring home a championship ring and title for JJC. Best of luck to their team. Our women's softball team is off to a strong start, winning their first game against Moraine Valley with a score of 8-6. Jenna Judge was the winning pitcher, striking out 5 batters in 2 innings and giving up only 1 hit. Judge also performed well at bat, hitting a game-tying home run in the bottom of the 6th inning. She finished with a record of 2 of 3 with the double, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs. Emma Herder sealed the victory for the Wolves with a walk-off home run. She finished 2 of 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Isabella Hansen also contributed to the team's success, going 2 of 4 with a triple RBI and run scored. As I shared in last month's report, students in the Fine Arts Department put on the comedic musical Pirates of Penzance. The students did an amazing job, and Wiley even made a guest appearance. 52 JJC students were casted, and 3 of the 4 shows were sold out. The next production, Still Magnolias, will be April 18th through the 21st. It is currently Women's History Month, and thanks to the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Office, over 20 students received the opportunity to honor our exceptional Executive Vice President, Dr. Yolanda Farmer. At the event, she shared her profound knowledge and wisdom. Her words were a source of inspiration to all those in attendance, leaving an enduring impact on our hearts and minds. We are immensely grateful for the opportunity to learn from such an accomplished leader. On Tuesday, March 5th, the Muslim Student Society hosted an event called Ramadan 099. Over 60 attendees participated both virtually and in person. The event included a student panel and Mediterranean sweets. And our sustainability union has been actively providing various volunteer opportunities to students since February. The next opportunity is on Friday, March 22nd at Habitat for Humanity, and they are also collaborating with Career Services for a Career Closet pop-up shop. Their goal is to provide students with free business attire in preparation for the Joliet Regional College and Career Fair on Thursday, April 25th. The donations are being accepted until 4 p.m. on April 15th. The Office of Sustainability is also proud to announce that JJC's official International Repair Cafe is opening at the Romeoville campus. The grand opening will take place on Saturday, April 13th from 10 to 3 and will feature coffee and other refreshments. The event will provide learning opportunities for repairing damaged items, and community members will volunteer their time to repair people's broken items free of charge. This event is possible through donations from the JJC Alumni Foundation and aligns with the Repair Cafe's slogan, "Toss it, no way." Our Workforce Development Program has collaborated with the Will County Workforce Center to offer complimentary resume workshops to JJC students and members of our community. These workshops are conducted once a month, and their venues are altered between City Center, Romeoville, and our community partners such as the Will County Workforce Center. And on Tuesday, March 26th, I will be attending a committee meeting at Sauk Valley Community College as a member of the Student Advisory Council. During this meeting, we will have a professional development session where we will engage with Michelle Lay, Senior Coordinator for Open Illinois, to discuss the development and expansion of open access educational resources and course materials. Thank you, and are there any questions regarding my report? Thank you.
Wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Item 5.2, representative to the JJC Foundation, Ms. Christine Mulvey. No report today?
Okay, thank you.
Item 5.3, the representative to the ICCTA, ACCT, Ms. Michelle Lee.
All right, so our ICCTA meetings always start off with a roundtable discussion. So the questions that we discussed were dual credit and making it better, a better return on investment to community college ideas others are using. In the next 5 years, what do you identify as issues for community colleges and trustees as ambassadors of their college? Best practices, any formal process or approach? So those were the 3 questions we talked about. I think the biggest thing that I got out of this conference was the seminar. There was a seminar on AI, and there were 3 different speakers, and one of them was a lawyer. And so it was really interesting to hear about some of the things that are going on with fake videos and fake pictures and AI generating those type of things, and the legal implications behind that. Of course, at the college level, we're still all talking about chatbot and those type of resources. So one of the things that he brought up with the chatbot, so a lot of lawyers are using them now. There's a lot of people using them. He gave us recommendations on how to actually make that information more truthful, because a lot of times the AI chatbot will come up with what's called hallucinations, and they will just make up what they think you want to hear. And for him, so this was so interesting. He said that he believes that new jobs are going to be in where you have a special niche in a job, like he's a lawyer, and to be able to go back through what AI creates and check it. And one of the things, so he hit on emotional intelligence, and he said, you know, it is one thing to be able to walk into a room and not only be able to read other people and how they're responding to what's going on, but also to be able to read yourself and how you're affecting the other people in the room. That's also going to actually kind of be through writing or through reading these AI chatbots now and re-going over their work, and kind of being emotionally intelligent enough, as well as having a niche in your job to be able to see these hallucinations and stop them. One of the two things that in the conference the AI chatbot literally did, the woman who was setting up this specific seminar used AI chatbot to introduce this guy, and the AI chatbot assigned this guy to have an MBA, and he didn't. His wife did. So, and the second hallucination was with the lawyer, and in his slide, it actually had the reference number to the case wrong. So the name was correct, you know, Joe versus Wade, whatever you want to say. We're going to go there right now. Anyways, so yeah, it was really interesting, and I just thought, you know, we've been talking a lot about emotional intelligence. We haven't really said the words emotionally intelligence, but I think that with everything that's been going on, that is a key factor in a lot of jobs, and particularly being a elected public official with the fiduciary duties that we have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5.4, trustee updates. Trustee Harris, do you have any updates for us?
Yeah, I don't want to repeat what Michelle said, but I just want to say that I really enjoyed the conference, and I was glad to have the opportunity to attend. As she said, we talked in the round table, you know, about the topics, but the main one that I thought was interesting is when they talked about what were the topics that the colleges should be concerned about for within the next 5 years. And they were talking about the enrollment and the revenue stream. And the revenue stream and the enrollment coming together and making sure that we have monies set aside for the AI, because the tools are going to be what's going to help us succeed at that. So that was somewhat interesting to me. And so, yeah, that's about it. I agree with what she said, but I did think that the fact that they did talk about AI and the monies that we need to start preparing in the budget so that we have those tools to work with. So, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to attend.
Thank you, Trustee Harris. Trustee Lee, do you have anything outside of the ICCT? No. Trustee Broderick.
I want to mention that we had a great luncheon with Arthur Levine, who is on the Great Upheaval, who gave the forward, backwards, side by side of what's going on with upper education, with higher education. He gave a real good idea of what we as trustees are supposed to be doing, which is ambassadors, constantly being out there, being ambassadors. And when I say that, I'm going to also ask for us to have a monthly printout so that we know what we can acknowledge to go to, because he said we should always be there advocating for JJC. And it should be us saying what we want to go to, no one else saying what we should or shouldn't go to. He said, because you are elected and you should be there as the ambassadors. And then also the 29th is the deadline for the next set of awards. And it would be nice if we could see who the people were, because all of the schools that sent theirs in knew who they were. And I see that, Jim, you had signed on the behalf of the trustees. We didn't even know who the candidates were that went in for the first one. But can we get, because the trustees add comments to letters so that there's more support when it goes in for the review committee to review it. So if we could get to know who the people are, because I was, I looked at who we submitted, and I'll be honest, I was disappointed that one of the ones that we had suggested for the alumni did not make it, and I wish I had been told about it. But it would be nice to know, because we should be aware of who we're putting up, and if we have any comments to share and give as input, we should be able to do it. And then I'm still going to ask about one more thing about the trustee budget development being on the next agenda. And I will put that in print too.
Trustee Morales?
Yes, as far as trustee updates, I want to ask Dr. Namuel, maybe for next meeting, if we can get an update from financial aid from the director or somebody in that area, just because I know that we've minimized the number of questions in FAFSA that are being asked, but there are still a lot of issues with that, and I just want to know, how is that affecting our school? How is it affecting our students? It's just, they did not work the bugs out of the system, it sounds like, and they rolled it out. So if we can get an update on how is that impacting JJC and our students. And then also, I'd like to hear an update from our GED program in terms of how we're doing with, like, I know we have, I think we have Spanish GED. I don't know if we do or not.
We do.
We do? Okay. And how is the enrollment? Is it decreasing? Is it increasing? How are we doing in those areas?
Correct. It's a smaller group that we.
Yes.
Okay, so if,
absolutely.
just an update, that's all. Thank you.
Yep, yep.
Trustee Mahalik?
You
Oh,
skipped.
Trustee Garcia-Guillen. Well, that's because she was talking.
Yes,
Trustee Garcia-Guillen.
yes. No updates at this time.
See, she had given me the nod. I saw it. So.
Yep, you're good. Okay.
Trustee Mahalik?
Oh, well, I would like to say I'm very sorry to hear about Jerry Lewis. I took the evolution of jazz when I was here. I can pick out an alto, saxophone, or a trumpet, anywhere you want. I can pick out anything. You didn't know that. It's very classic, including my love for jazz and all kinds of swing music and stuff. I go home at night sometimes and tell Alexa to play a jazz station. I listen to that, and my kid's like, "What's this?" It's like, "This is good music. You make sure you listen to this." So, very, very sorry to hear about him. Just want to say a reminder, I saw my email. Make sure you guys fill out your survey, because I completed that survey. I think I'm the lone person to do it, because you said only one person completed that so far. So
No.
it's doing.
Just say,
No?
yeah.
You did it today? Or
That had to
what?
come after the email then.
Yeah, so,
After
yeah,
the
so,
email.
okay, sounds good. So deadline on the 17th. So okay.
I just want to say that I submitted my survey too.
Awesome. Okay.
And I
Want me
believe
to
the
read this?
deadline was the 15th, not the 17th.
I think it was the 17th is what she said.
It
in
is the
email, so-
17th?
17th.
Okay. Maybe I put it on my calendar, 15th.
It's the 15th for us, but the 17th for them to start doing something with it. But,
Okay.
So part of my chair report was to remind the trustees of the retreat on Wednesday, March 27th. We will be meeting from 12 to 5 at the Joliet Library on Ottawa Street, and to complete the board assessment sent from Colleen Allen by March 17th. So everyone's done it? That's it. I think it shows one for everyone. I think it only counts yourself, so
I
that's
think
why.
in her email she sends only one trustee completed it. So
At the
and
time.
that was me.
Okay, that was you?
Good job, Jay.
Woo!
Awesome. And, for the people in the audience, with the excitement we've had in the last couple meetings, the board does take this position seriously. We are going to spend some time, the survey we're talking about is self-reflecting on our own abilities and how we serve this board. As long as we're serving the college, we also have to serve each other on the board, which becomes very important for us. Any trustee that is not serving the board, any two trustees that, start to, form some kind of agenda on their own is really damaging. It's important that when we come in the room, and one of the trustees mentioned today about the one no vote, it's okay to be the no vote. If it's from conscience and it's something that's going to help us further the campus and the students on this campus, that no vote might be the very important one. If anything else, it at least brings discussion that we might need to have. So just understand that when we meet on March 27th, we will be addressing a lot of our behaviors, all of us. And we just want to confirm our commitment to these principles. We'll always strive to serve with accountability, integrity, and a duty of care to this community. And that's it for my chair report.
I'd like to add that we also serve in a bipartisan manner. We don't or shouldn't carry labels with us about parties or partyship. We have, I think, a very diverse board here. And with, we have some problems we're working out, and hopefully we can all come to the consensus and, just work in a very adult manner, very civil with each other, in a respectful and spirit of teamwork and team spirit, that's all. And support our president. And we're not all yes people, because we all ask good questions.
And then moving on to the last agenda item we have is we had moved earlier to closed session to this time. Does anyone have anything they need to discuss in closed session? I need a motion.
I had asked to have it moved. So the reason I had asked to have it moved is I thought there was going to be something that I was going to bring up under 2C1. I'm not going to do that. But I think going forward, if we have anything of a executive session, as we've had in the beginning of the meetings, it's way too long. People can't be sitting here for an hour and a half waiting for us to come in and out of executive session. If it's something on the agenda, then let's take 10 minutes to discuss it in that part, and then if there's anything else that follows, put it at the end, because these poor people sat here for an hour and a half waiting for us to come out of executive session last meeting, and then an hour and 40 minutes additional after additional items were put on that we weren't aware of. So I asked that if we could do two, one short one, and then have at the end one if you need it. If there's anything that's not related to the meeting, then have it at the end, so that we do not tie these poor people who are sitting here all night waiting for us to come out.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we will not be going into closed session. At this time, I need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Aye. All those opposed? We're adjourned.